Wonderful.
Now, what the hell were you saying, Max?
Right. So, one of the funniest things that I've ever seen in a very long time in politics was the fact that the right wing of New York City DSA tried to dissolve the organisation after Zoran was elected into like a liberal NGO or whatever. And then when Zoran was asked, do you support this? Do you think people should sign up and become members? He was like, nah, join the DSA.
No, seriously though, that's what people like that do. They always like Zoran, and like, I do not blame Zoran for everything. What usually happens is these celebrity politicians, they have careerists and want to be social climbers and want to be like, they basically treat this whole thing like House of Cards. And they latch on to these celebrity politicians and they form like a camarilla around these people. They try to control access, and they have them doing all of these shitty things, and they isolate them from the rank and file of the organization. And of course, as you just mentioned, they come up with various schemes to boost their own prestige that, in many cases, the politician knows nothing about. So yeah, that is pretty par for the course for rightists and DSA.
Where would you place him on the DSA kind of political spectrum?
Zoran?
Yeah.
Zoran is a rightist. You see, you have to keep in mind, I'm a Maoist.
Firm rightist, but is he like no? But I mean, in terms of DSA's political spectrum, not your political spectrum of denouncing everyone as a rightist.
Yeah, Zoran, I would probably say is center right.
I think he's kind of drifted. He's drifting further right, isn't he? And he'll.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's doing homeless sweeps.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be a socialist in charge of the New York Police Department.
Of course not. No, it's not just that he's in charge of the NYPD. That he kept Jessica Tisch in objectively, like literally a Zionist cadre in control of the instruments of state repression. Like, people are acting like we're attacking Zoran unprincipledly for no reason. No. We're criticizing him because he's doing stupid, fucked up, anti-socialist shit. Socialists do not give Zionists positions of power. I don't care how you try to justify it. Some things are unjustifiable. Like, that's what Jesse Jackson was about, rest in power. Like, people are like, oh yeah, Jesse Jackson laid the foundations for Bernie and AOC. Stop mentioning these fucking white people, these non-black people with horrible politics in the same sentence as a black elder who was actually about that life. Stop parasitizing our struggles for bullshit. AOC is not Jesse Jackson. Okay. Even our sock dems are better, for fuck's sake. Like, do you really think that AOC or Zoran would have gotten up in front of the Democratic Convention and said those things that Jesse Jackson said? Absolutely not. Because these people are cowards and they're wimps and they're wet noodles who are afraid of losing delegates or who are afraid of losing votes. Cowardice is the exact antithesis of what Jesse Jackson was about.
It feels like the Democratic Party is getting better and better at kind of integrating these DSA candidates as well and like pushing them right. Like, I saw this thing about a candidate in Idaho recently who like rejected the endorsement of the DSA chapter.
Yeah, Durand.
And it's really, I mean, the art style on those graphics is really funny, but that's just wild stuff.
And it's fucking embarrassing, to be honest. It's fucking embarrassing. Like, I love my organization, okay? Like, if I did not love this organization, I would not still be in it. But, like, eventually you have to explain this shit to regular people. And a regular people, like, we cannot consider the masses stupid, right? Like, eventually people are going to ask, okay, so y'all keep talking all this cool shit about socialism. Why she get up in front of the people and say that, I don't know, the Iron Dome should still be a thing? Why does she support that horrible trade deal? Like, people follow politics. People are not stupid. People are very smart. And when you're out here asking people to vote or volunteer or give money, you better come correct. Otherwise, it's going to be like, okay, y'all are full of shit, just like the rest of the politicians. And that's what we keep trying to tell people, and hopefully they get it. But if not, hey, the left shall impose itself on the right. So, how about y'all's side of the Atlantic Ocean? I refuse to call it a pond. So, y'all got Central Executive Commission, whatever, elections coming up, and both you, Chloe, and Max are running. Why? Why would you do that to yourselves?
It's a good question. It's very stressful, and I've never had articles written by like Zionist mouthpieces before about like shit I've said on Twitter, but now I have. But we're running to build a party that's led by its members. That's a democratic socialist party that is meaningfully different from the social democratic populist parties that have come before, like Corbyn's Labour Party, like the Green Party now, and across the world, like things like Syriza in Greece. We see that as kind of a failed model of politics that will only lead to further failure. And let's face it, there's a ticking clock, right? Where things are getting worse every day in more and more ways. So we are for a party that is radically democratic and radically socialist, that doesn't just want to reform capitalism into something a bit friendlier, but actually wants to make a decisive break with capitalism, abolish the private profit motive, do away with things like landlordism, and of course withdraw from NATO and end British complicity in 500 years of colonialism and atrocity across the world.
Okay. So y'all are serious about like, and I'm really glad that you brought up imperialism, because like, y'all, the Brits, are like basically, just objectively, historically speaking, the reason why a substantial part of the world is fucked up. So it's really good that like y'all are actually wrestling with that as a contradiction, because like when I talk to British leftists, a lot of them are just like, oh yes, well, we have the NHS and we have to make sure that's secure, and yes, imperialism is very bad, but we did teach the rule of law to the rest of the world. Like even y'all's leftists, a lot of them are imperialists, like soft power imperialists. Well, it's good. It's good that the lads in Hong Kong, they're still playing their bagpipes. So like, it's really good that y'all are actually taking this seriously. I think the American left needs to learn a lesson as well about this. Like imperialism is not just a single person issue. It's not just a single issue. It's literally the reason why a substantial part of the world fucking hates us. Like you see those people in Iran shouting "Marbar America." They're not saying, "Oh, we want to kill BRG." They're saying that like the American government, which has bombed us, which has aided the Israelis in bombing us, murdered our people, and stirred up wars all over the Middle East, it has to go. The people in the rest of the world want us in America, in Britain, in Europe, to topple these empires that have made their lives a living hell. But people act as if that they have something against the American people. No, the Iranians, people and the comrades in Africa, like they love Americans. They love our music. They love our culture, but they hate what we continue to allow our government to do. Same thing with the Brits.
Yeah, I mean, oh, sorry. Should I go first?
I spoke before. You go first.
Thank you very much. It's kind of like what Chloe said. You do have to link all of these things together, right? So when we talk about landlordism, like the history of landlordism and the history of imperialism are like hand in hand, right? Because it was through the enclosures that the British people became landless, right? And then once they got a hold of all the land and all the natural resources, they wanted more. So what did they do? They got on their boats and they went around the world and they went and raped and pillaged the rest of the world, right? Mm-hmm. But that's, that we're a landless people, right? That's why we've got landlords, right? Because
if I recall correctly, isn't like a third of y'all's land still owned by descendants of William the Conqueror?
Yeah. You can walk from Magdalen College in Oxford. You can walk from there to central London, only stepping on land owned by the University of Oxford.
Holy shit. But like people don't like, especially with America being like a young country, Like you still have new buildings in the UK that are older than our country.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm a big history nerd, so like I've studied all this stuff, and like the Normans put y'all through a fucking ringer. I mean, not saying that the Anglo-Saxons were like much better; they had slaves for fuck's sake. But like you had this dude, and the funny thing is, like the Saxons, the Normans, and the Danish and Norse Vikings are all related to each other. It's like y'all are cousins. But anyways, like they came over and they basically dispossessed the existing Anglo-Saxon ruling class and took all that shit that built all those castles and shit and imposed like basically this middle stage feudalism on the UK. Like the UK itself was colonized. So when people talk about colonialism, like you have to remember that the Europeans, the Brits and the French, like they have been doing this stuff to each other for centuries. Like Europeans practiced on each other before they started fucking with everybody else.
And that was like the harrying of the North, which was basically a genocide, like a genocidal moment in early English history, where like because the North was in rebellion constantly against the Normans, William the Conqueror just went up and killed thousands of people. And like it's I forget the medieval writer who wrote about it, but he said, you know, of all the things that he did, it was the very worst. It was dreadful. But the interesting thing about William the Conqueror and the Normans doing that is that it kind of laid the foundations for the really centralized British or English state, which then of course led to the development of capitalism out of feudalism like more easily, because instead of having this patchwork of different feudal relations, it kind of William the Conqueror and the Normans came in and wiped the slate clean, and England became a very centralized kingdom at that point. And that was ultimately what led to things like the War of the Roses, and essentially laid the stage in the long term for the evolution of England, the early modern state, which of course was the state that went and did the enclosures, like Max said, and led to the establishment of early capitalism. So it goes back a long way, all of this stuff. And yeah, they do still own a lot of land, and it's really embarrassing that we still have bishops in Parliament. Like, it's really embarrassing as a country to have that kind of shit going on.
We're the only place outside of Iran that has clerics in its legislature.
Yeah. Yeah, that's wild. But yeah, they're Lord Spiritual and then Lord's Temporal. Jesus, how the fuck do I know so much? Am I the most well-educated American on English politics? Jesus Christ.
No, because you're just British pilled, mate. You know how you said last time that I was American coded, you're British coded.
Yeah. Well, don't expect me to sing Rule Britannia anytime soon. Anyways, so y'all are running for Central Executive Commission. It's basically okay for DSA people. So this is basically like y'all's NPC, right? Okay. So
Yeah.
so because like you figured, okay, and I imagine that you all are in your party because you see it like I see DSA. It's a mass organization that in which a substantial portion of leftists in your country have chosen to gather, and it's our duty as communists to engage with it. So that's how I see DSA. Like people act like I'm in DSA because I absolutely just love fucking being around the types of white people that gentrify us out of our neighborhoods now. I'm in DSA because it's because we just reached 100,000 members, and like no leftist organization in the United States can touch that number. So, like Lenin said, of course, DSA is not a reactionary trade union, but Lenin said that we have to organize everywhere. Mao as well. We have to organize everywhere that the people gather. So it continues to convey upon me the unseriousness of the American left that refuses to engage with DSA. Like if there's 100,000 people who identify as some type of socialists in one space, why would you not enter and see what you could do? Like if you're a Maoist, then Mao taught that we have to go where the masses are. The masses are not in tiny little sclerotic. Like there is no perfect masses. When you go out trying to look for the perfect masses, you're never going to find them, and as a result, you're going to be eternally confined to a little bitty sclerotic sect that has no real impact on the actual motion of the world.
Yeah, and I've spent like some time in like very small organizations like that before. I was in a group called Red Fight Back for about 6 months, which only lasted a few years, and it was kind of like heavily, like it was kind of a Maoish kind of group, but it was
Yeah, I
quite
could tell by the name.
Yeah, but it was quite confused politically. It was also very, very young, like in terms of its membership. But that blew up, and it was just too small to like ever achieve anything. Like obviously, an organization can be small and can grow larger, right? But you're probably not going to get there if you're just another one of these little like 50, 100, up to 1,000 maybe member organizations.
Yeah, like why would anybody join that?
Yeah, because it's not serious, and it's also a problem of like all of these different groups doing it at the same time. People, like you said earlier, people aren't stupid, and they do see like why is there like the Revolutionary Communist Group and the Revolutionary Communist Party and the Communist Party of Britain and the CPGBML and all and so on, all these different groups. Like it's a bad look for us.
I try not to think about the CPGBML.
Yeah, luckily you don't have to too much these days because they've been like there's about 10 different little parties trying to occupy the same space. Like there's a lot of social conservatism.
It's pathetic. It's stupid.
Did you know what one of the nicknames for the CPGBML is in Britain?
What is that?
The Sweatshop Boys. Because basically the family that controls it own a load of sweatshops in India. And they funnel that money into the CPGBML. So
they're basically profiting off of that. Is the most British shit I've ever heard.
Yeah.
You have a family of Indian sweatshop owners using sweatshop labor in India to fund a ostensibly Marxist-Leninist party.
Yeah.
That made my heart sad. Anyways.
And to top it all off, they led a split within the Indian Workers Association in Britain to gain control of their newspaper.
That is, the American left has a lot of fucked up shit going on, but I don't think that we would ever tolerate a party, the top leadership of which operates fucking sweatshops. So, question for you, Max. Mr. Lasagna 95 asks, how do you feel about the right splitting between Reform and Restore Britain? Why don't they just merge and form a group called Reform and Restore Britain?
Well, because Restore Britain is a split from Reform.
Oh.
But it's like a even more right-wing flank. Look, a divided right is always good, right? But I think what's most likely going to happen before the next election, in my opinion, is that there will actually more likely to be some kind of reconciliation between Reform and the Conservative Party. I think that's the direction of travel that they're going down. And it will basically be a reverse takeover of the Conservative Party by Reform. Probably get called the Conservative and Reform Party. At the moment, it's called the Conservative Union and Unionist Party. And that will solidify Nigel Farage in history as arguably the most successful small C conservative of his generation.
That fucker is still around.
Oh, he's still around. That geezer was around when I was a teenager, right? And I'm heading towards 40 now, right? This bloke's been around for a long time. And lots of people go, Reform show that, a new party could arise and be in position to take political power in a short space of time. And the counter argument is, well, no, because Nigel Farage's political project has gone back to since when I was like 7. You know, he's been around for a very long time. The party name might be different, but the political project has continued all that time, right?
Sounds like he's on a.
You do need time. You do need time to build hegemony. It's not going to happen overnight.
They've also
Sounds
had
like he's on a. Sounds like he's on a long march.
Oh, he is. He is.
They've also had a completely like compliant media environment that just gives them more airtime than like anyone else at every step. So it's you can't necessarily like the left is not going to win power in the same way that the right is going to win power. They're never just going to invite us into power to deal with the issues of the day. I'm not sure whether I agree with Max in saying that there is definitely going to be like a merger between reform and the Tories. I think there's the potential for that, depending on how it ends up looking on election day, like whether if reform.
My thoughts on Cori Bush. I fucking love her. I will die for Cori Bush, bruh. I'm a black dude from St. Louis. Like what? Come on, you already know what it is. I will die for Cori Bush. She's the left of the squad. Fuck AOC. Okay, Cori Bush for life. Sorry, somebody asked me something that I had.
No. It's fine. It's fine. We love the little interruptions. We love the
Corey.
little interruptions.
No, you don't. You're British.
I mean, you know, the thing with Farage, right, is that he has been around for a very long time. People make out that like he's only really appeared in like the past 10 years or whatever. You know, and he has had, without being in power, made massive changes to British society, right, and to the relations of the British state vis-a-vis, you know, people across the Channel, and that kind of goes to show that, you know, it's possible to have power without office, just as much as it's possible to have office without power, right? So it's, you know, it's an interesting tale. It should be studied by socialists everywhere, not as something that we can learn lessons from, but something that we can learn lessons of.
I'm a big fan of studying your enemies.
He's basically, because, you know, he's basically normalized. It's odd, right? So he likes to make out that we love.
Will y'all stop featuring these Brits? Why are y'all asking them about Kneecap now?
So it's Farage is interesting, right? Because the kind of place on the political spectrum that people often view him through is being similar to the radical right in Europe, right? Which is where sort of the far right in Europe try to become respectable in the eyes of the bourgeoisie. Farage is slightly different in the sense that Farage is an out-and-out Thatcherite. He's a die-hard neoliberal, right? Which they aren't. And so, you know, the kind of politics that he's advancing in terms of rhetoric is very similar. But once you look beneath the kind of facade, you realise that it's essentially crackhead Thatcherism. Not that Thatcherism wasn't crackhead.
Wasn't original Thatcherism crackhead Thatcherism?
Yeah, no, I just said the original Thatcherism was crackhead Thatcherism, but this is
so it's fentanyl.
Yeah, no. This is someone who has been on the crack pipe for 30 years and is putting, you know, little bits of fentanyl on top now because it's not hitting as good.
There's an interesting kind of there's a lot of the Reform Party and Farage's politics are a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Like there's some things that they'll say which sound quite social democratic almost, like nationalizing the privatized water industry, for instance. You know, they want to nationalize a couple of critical.
At no compensation, might I add. At no compensation, because his argument is they've made it. They bought it cheap. They've made plenty of profit, but they failed to invest. So why should we be bailing them out?
Hold up. This old school Thatcherite. He is so far to the right that he accidentally came to a social democratic conclusion.
Well, we'll see if he actually does it. Like, I think in practice, a lot of that stuff will get forgotten the day after they get into power. I think there's also some legitimately wild stuff, like the reforms that they want to do to tax. They want to basically massively reduce the amount of tax that everyone is paying. And it's quite a lot. It's quite similar to like Liz Truss's policies and the mini budget that sort of nearly bankrupted the country, essentially, like caused a run on the bond market. They kind of want to do the same thing, or at least they're saying they will. And it remains to be seen whether they'll actually go ahead with some of that stuff, because it will just crash the British economy and the British states.
But you forget,
the thing with y'all is that, okay, like the thing with y'all, like I've studied a bit of finance. Like the thing, like I guess the like shibboleth about the Brits in American finance is that y'all are conservative, like when it comes to money and finance, and like that's the shit that I'm used to as an American. Oh yeah, cut everybody's taxes. Meantime, keep spending like drunken sailors on military bullshit. And
but
like,
this is the type of man Farage is, right? In 2016, he bet against the pound on referenda night because he knew that if he won, there'd be a run on the pound, right? So he wanted to profit off it. So and we know that Trump does similar kind of things himself.
These people are shameless. These people are shameless opportunists. They don't care about anything but making money for themselves. Politics is basically secondary to making money.
I mean, Farage is literally a precious metal trader, like previous to getting into politics. That's his background, and that's what he's doing.
Yeah, he's a gambler.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's still doing it. I wouldn't be surprised.
He's a gambler. Yeah, he's probably in politics just to enable his gambling. So, what do y'all think of the band Kneecap, the Irish band?
I quite like them. Yeah, I think I missed an opportunity to see them in Manchester not long ago, which is a shame.
Oh, I thought they weren't allowed to come over there.
No, they're allowed to come over. They're just like under the British state keeps on trying to get them for like various charges, but none of them actually stick because it's ridiculous. They screwed up like a prosecution recently, and all the most rabid right-wing commentators were screaming that this incompetent like prosecution had gone ahead and hadn't been able to nail them down, and they're now trying to like retry them, I believe, like to get a do-over, basically.
My favorite thing about Kneecap is that like they don't try to be something that they're not. Like a lot of white rappers or a lot of European rappers, like they try to emulate black inner city American culture. And they're like, no, we're just working class Irish lads from Belfast. I think that's where they're from. They are from Belfast, right? So yeah, we're just working class Irish lads from Belfast, and that's what we're going to rap about. And we're going to use Gaelic. And the thing with Gaelic is that it's basically a language that's made for rapping. Very beautiful melodic flow. And they make heavy use of it. So they're paying tribute to their own colonized, oppressed culture, while also doing the art form justice. Like I'm a bit of a I guess you could say a Puritan, and they're strictly hip hop. Like I love Kneecap. Like they're not trying to be black, or they're not acting as if like they're not a bunch of rich kids rapping about the working class when I'm knowing about what the working class is about. Like they're just themselves, and that's what I like about them.
Don't let Kneecap hear that you're a Puritan, mate. They'll think you're going to go all Cromwell on them.
Yeah. Oh no. There is a pretty substantial gap in melanin and centuries between me and the Lord Protector.
But
didn't they try to ban? Didn't they fucking try to ban Christmas?
They did.
I'm pretty certain he did
yeah.
ban it. Yeah, I'm pretty certain he did ban it. Yeah.
It wasn't really enforced though, because you can't really enforce that. It's like some of the things that the revolutionary French, like the First Republic, did, where it was just unenforceable in practice, but it was they were running ahead of what was politically possible.
Yeah,
it's funny. I was watching the 1970 film last night, Cromwell, and it's interesting to get like the line that they sort of take towards him, where the film ends with him coming into his personal rule. Doesn't mention anything about what he did in Ireland. Doesn't mention the fact that he was unable to actually build a sustainable republican state, and so it just fell apart like a few months after he died.
Yeah, I mean, the guy was basically a military dictator.
Yeah, he was a very good military dictator, but the problem with that is that it was historically kind of premature. Like, it just, things weren't kind of ready for there to be a properly republican government that lasted. But what you did get was a constitutional monarchy in the end.
But the thing is, his form of republicanism was kind of de facto a constitutional, it was a monarchy in its own right, because, you know, he created the position of Lord Protector, and then when he died, he said, my son's going to be Lord Protector.
So he fucking deposed. He fucking deposed. Who's the guy that got his head cut off? Was that Charles the First or the Second?
Yeah, Charles the First.
Charles the First.
So he cut Chucky's head off, and then was like, "Oh, we need a king. I don't know what it is with us, but we simply must have a crowned head." And he made himself, tried to make his own family the royal dynasty.
I mean, no, he rejected it. They offered him the crown a bunch of times, but he rejected it because he was like ultimately still very committed to these principles in a sense. But the British state machine that they had inherited just couldn't function without that figurehead. I mean, ultimately, you don't have many states at all that still don't have a head of state, like places like Switzerland and things like that. But most states these days still have that kind of, they have some singular figure who power is vested in.
Yeah, like the United States. Like the United States, our president is both the head of state and head of government.
Mm-hmm. It's getting really, like, the executive creep is getting wild now over there.
So do y'all think that, like, there will still be a monarchy in Britain by the end of this century?
Not if we have anything to say about it, but
not by the end of the decade with any luck. I mean, there was a poll out the other day. The majority of the British people want rid of the monarchy.
So y'all are going to make...
Primarily because, you know, the king's brother is a nonce, or for your
Prince Andrew.
Pedophile. Yeah,
you know that I'm surprised.
Prince formerly known as Andrew. The Prince formerly known as Andrew. It's just Andrew Mountbatten Windsor now.
Wait, they stripped him of his title?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the king is still the king's. Well, no, he voluntarily gave it up.
Then they stripped him of his title.
Yeah, the king is now still subsidising him. He lives in a house on one of the royal estates, but you know it's only got 5 bedrooms. And
the queen wasn't he like the queen's favorite son?
Yeah.
Oh, he was the favourite. Yeah, because he was the third child. So she had the heir, she had the spare, and then she had him, and he was the one where she was actually allowed to be a mother, because she was further enough in her rule whereby she could like put her foot down.
And did she know about this shit he was doing?
Oh, she knew he was a diddler. Oh, she knew. She paid off. She paid. What's her name? Virginia Gruff, is it?
Jeffrey.
One of the Virginia Jeffrey or whatever. Paid her off. It was the Queen. The Queen paid that.
It's a long-standing monarchical tradition. It's a nonce thing. It goes back
it is
thousands of years.
They're not only are there a set of parasites, there are a set of paedophiles as well. So we've got to get rid of all of them.
And that's the one thing that the British people get really mad about is noncing. Like, I mean, obviously, not actually, but if you're seen to do it.
Yeah,
12 million pounds? Jesus Christ.
The two most popular policies in Britain today are fund the NHS, hang the paedophiles.
Oh. So that's what we're running for your party to become a party office, those two policies. We'll win.
That's what we're fighting
80% of the vote.
You would get 80% of the vote. That's the thing. You would get 80% of the vote.
She paid 12 million fucking pounds to cover up her son, bruh. And as long as the Queen was alive, this bastard couldn't be touched. Mm-hmm. But
basically,
but
so I mean, the king paid some of it as well. Charles III paid for some of it.
If I had to pay,
if I had to pay 1.3 million pounds or something.
Bro, before I pay $6 million, I don't give a fuck if you are my brother. Before I pay any amount of money to cover up some fuck shit that you did, I will throw you to the wolves. I'm sorry.
But
Millions of fucking dollars.
You're still like the British people are still very servile in a way, and even like on the socialist left, you have to have these. It's difficult to get people to commit to like republicanism. People are still like, oh well, it's just it's not the right time, or like the monarchy isn't actually that bad, or all these things. You still have to have these conversations with fucking socialists. It's
social monarchism is like a big thing in like left politics in Britain, but it also
fuck
kind of
fuck him. Also, don't mention that bastard. Fuck Mountbatten.
It also infects left-wing organizational politics, right? So, you have, the party is traditionally led by one person, and they are the king of the organization. They're the party king, and their coterie of advisors is
I want to be a party king
of the court. And we must all obey them, and we must give them servience and everything like that. And that's really what this. It's what really.
I want to be a party king. I want everybody to. I want to be a party king. I want everybody to obey me.
No. PRG, you do not want to be a party.
You're like keep your American Republican tradition. If there's one thing that you want,
republic. We want a party republic. That's what we're fighting for in this election, which is against the party monarchy, right? Because the other side in the election, want to make Jeremy Corbyn eternal leader of the British left. It's actually a key part. It's actually a key pillar of their platform.
And DSA people are like obsessed with that dude.
So the party's founding conference, we in the Democratic Socialists put forward this idea that the party should be collectively led, and luckily we convinced enough of the membership to.
I've got an endorsement.
To actually support that, right? So we're standing for the election of a collective political leadership. The other side, what their number one policy is, they're going to make Jeremy Corbyn parliamentary leader of the party. That's their number one policy. Yeah,
that's crazy. Jeremy Corbyn stands with. Jeremy Corbyn is backing the many. Like. It's
Jeremy Corbyn.
That impressed me. That is exactly what the right is trying to do in DSA with AOC.
Yeah, and I think she's less charismatic than anything.
No, I cannot stand.
Jeremy's not the most charismatic man in the world.
Of course not. He's British.
Way more charismatic.
No, I think I do still think he's all right. Like,
have y'all listened to AOC speak?
Oh, he's a nice old geezer. Yeah.
I have
AOC reminds me of a fucking terrified squirrel.
We've all seen.
You mean
Sandy Cortez? She said
Sandy Cortez.
Sandy Cortez. That's what I'm gonna start calling her.
Sandy Cortez. That's what she used to be known at school. At school, she was Sandy Cortez.
Yeah, like she's playing. Like she plays a character. Okay. Like, she plays the character of this working-class Latina lady from the Bronx. She's not from the Bronx. She's from Westchester. And it's she
left the Bronx when she was like 8 or something like that.
Yeah, she does not have that experience, yet she traffics in it. And it's disgusting. But, maybe I'm spoiled because, have either of you heard Jesse Jackson speak? The tradition that I come from, the black oratorical tradition in the United States, Martin Luther King, Jesse Jackson, Malcolm X, if there's one thing that black people can do, it's fucking give a speech. It's fucking talk.
Oh,
that's what we're known for. As a matter of fact, in the parts of West Africa where we come from, there were people who were paid literally to do nothing but talk. They were called griots. So we're from that tradition, and listening to Bernie Sanders or AOC, it puts me to fucking sleep. The only way that you can find these people charismatic is if you're white.
I mean, we used to have in this country, within the workers' movement, a great oratorical tradition.
Yeah, you had Speaker's Corner in Hyde Park. Let's literally go and
exists. That still exists, but I mean within the workers' movement itself, right? We had a great oratorical tradition, which died out as a result of essentially the trade union movement being smashed under Thatcher. And the culture of participatory democracy within the movement was replaced with the kind of transactional politics that Thatcher imposed. And so that's all gone. Like the last of the great. Me and Chloe were talking about this the other day. Like the sad fact is that the last of the great Labour movement orators is George Galloway. Once he goes, that's it. That whole tradition.
Is that that weird? Is that weird crazy fucker that always wears a fedora?
Yeah.
I mean,
the
reason why he wears the fedora is interesting though. So the reason why he wears the fedora is about 10 years ago, maybe a little bit longer, 10, 12, 13 years ago, he got beaten up by a Zionist in the street and he got like scars on his head and stuff like that. So that's why he wears the fedora all the time, is to cover up the scars.
He responded to me on Twitter. He responded to me on Twitter with some crazy, stupid shit, and I mocked him. And like,
did he ask you if you'd like to be the cat? Do you know?
I don't remember. I don't remember anything about
George Galloway. George Galloway appeared when I was a teenager. George Galloway appeared on Big Brother. Do you know what Big Brother is?
Yeah, it's a show where they watch you and you make you do a whole bunch of stupid shit.
So he appeared on Celebrity Big Brother, right? And one of the tasks was that he had to dress up in a leotard. So if you type in George Galloway Celebrity Big Brother, right now, no, seriously, and they had to role play, right? And one of the roles was that
is this safe for work?
Yeah,
is this safe for work?
This aired on prime time. This aired on prime time television.
Because I see this discussion going somewhere where that only certain people may want it to go.
Yeah, no. So they had to like role play, and like one of them had like he was paired with this woman. I can't remember who this woman was, and they said, right, one of you's the cat and one of you's the cat owner. And George Galloway goes, would you like me to be the cat to this woman, right? And then she pours like milk in her hand, and George Galloway sits there, like sipping the milk.
That is no comment.
This is true. This is not us taking the mic, anything like that. Like if you type in George Galloway.
Let me clarify. Okay, so let me clarify this. So basically, the last of the great socialist orators in your country sipped milk out of a woman's hand on national television.
Yeah.
And then he still got elected as an MP a couple of years ago. So
maybe I should move. Maybe I should move to the UK. So something about politics. So are you guys going to sort this internal factional split out? Because apparently this individual joined when Zara had that brief membership site. He got fed up and then 2 weeks ago joined the Greens.
We hope that we'll be able to sort it out. If we win a majority, then we're going to build a party that's unified, and that unity is going to be forged through an open, vigorous internal debate about politics, which is the thing that's been lacking so far, is that in the entire sort of foundational process of this party, none of the decision-making processes were transparent. None of the disputes that were going on behind the scenes were able to be followed by the masses of people who were involved. And so things like that, the membership portal fiasco and all that kind of stuff just came out of nowhere. And if you don't even understand why things have gone like the way they have, why all this, if all you're seeing is like little snippets of the infighting, but you don't actually understand, you can't follow the political differences, then it's just going to look like the party's being run quite incompetently. And of course, that's going to drive people away.
Yeah, and the way in which the media's try to portray it, which is like a personality clash between Jeremy and Zara, is just totally wrong. It's about two competing political trends, right? You've got your more conservative social democratic wing. I say, conservative in left terms, right? They just want to reform capitalism. Socialism is when the government does stuff, right? That's what the Corbyn and the many represent, where they see the 2017 and 2019 manifestos as the high point of our ambitions and nothing beyond that. And then you have the more radical democratic socialist wing that wants to go beyond capitalism, that has seen Zara become its figurehead, right, in the eyes of the media and everything else, right? But it's quite interesting because when you trace, Corbynism has a legitimate claim to be the inheritor of Bennism, right? And Bennism was nowadays people reduce it to like a policy platform or the 1983 manifesto or whatever. It wasn't. It was a strategic orientation. It was acceptance that the only way in which to carry on and to preserve the gains of the post-war consensus was to go beyond them and to go beyond capitalism entirely, right? So in many senses, the politics that Jeremy Corbyn believed in before he stood for leader in 2015 is what we're fighting for to a certain extent, although more radical in some ways, right? So there is a contradiction at play here where it's like Jeremy is opposing the politics that we all know deep down he believes in for reasons completely unknown.
I mean, one of the things to speak to there is that, like, there's letters from the 1980s that Jeremy Corbyn was sending out because they were trying to purge a faction called Militant Tendency from the Labour Party at the time. And this was a Trotskyite entryist organisation which held power in Liverpool Council for a while and is now, like, the descendants of this is Socialist Alternative and the RCP, respectively. And they were being purged at the time, and Jeremy Corbyn
and the Socialist Party of England and Wales, Socialist Party of England and Wales as well.
And he wrote letters and spoke up on behalf of the expelled members at the time from the Labour Party. What are they doing now? The Jeremy Corbyn faction is running basically on a platform of expelling all of the Trotskyist organisations, such as the SWP, Socialist Party of England and Wales. They expelled candidates like Dave Nellist, who is like to an extent a titan of like the socialist movement as much as you can be.
Dave Nellist used to be a Labour MP and he was expelled because he refused to pay the poll tax. Right? He was
wait, hold up. Did you just say a fucking poll tax?
Yeah, did you not know we had a poll tax in the 80s?
Not for long.
You brought it in.
Bro, and Jim, that's the shit that they used to stop black people from voting in the Jim Crow South.
No. So they called it the community charge, and it replaced the local rates, like which like the local property tax, yeah. And it was known as the poll tax, and
that's crazy.
The force in society that led its opposition the most, that organised the great anti-poll tax federation, was the militant tendency, right? And Dave Nellist, who was a Labour MP, but obviously also a member of Militant, he opposed this, right? And he refused to pay it, right? He refused to pay it outright.
As he should have.
There was another Militant MP called Pat Wall, who also refused to pay it. There was also Terry Fields. I believe Terry Fields, who was a firefighter, ended up getting sent to prison for like 6 weeks because he kept refusing to pay it.
Wait a minute. Is this the UK or is this like fucking Alabama in 1902?
No. This is Britain in the 1980s, early 90s, right?
They had y'all paying a fucking poll tax, bro.
Yeah. No, they were paying a poll tax. Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
They were sending people to jail for it. They were taking people's houses off them. They were,
they would take your house.
Yeah. They'd take your house because you haven't paid. So they then put a
I'm not
charge
moving over there
against
now.
your property. They then put a charge against your property, and they would then initiate bankrupt proceedings.
Please tell me this isn't a thing anymore.
No,
it's not a thing anymore. They replaced it. There were the poll tax riots, nationwide riots.
How the fuck? Okay, look, I know Maggie. I knew Maggie Thatcher was like singularly evil and stupid, but how the fuck did she think a poll tax was a good idea?
Well, she didn't call it a poll tax. She called it a community.
But that's what it was.
Yeah, because like basically the way in which the rates work and the way in which council taxes now work is it's a whole household thing, right? So it doesn't matter how many people you've got living in a house. There's a certain band, like rating for the property that you live in, and you pay a certain amount. She did it so that if you had 5 people living in the house, every single person had to pay the poll tax.
Even the kids? Was this just for adults?
Yeah, even the kids. No,
but
no,
the
no.
kids can't even fucking vote.
The parents had to pay it for the kids.
No wonder they're fucking riots. It's a wonder y'all didn't burn the whole motherfucker down.
Well, nearly did. It brought Thatcher down. It was one of the things that brought Thatcher down. But yeah, no. Did you not know all about that? But that was led by the militant tendency.
Yeah,
right?
I remember.
Look, in the American context, when you say poll tax, that was a disenfranchisement method. Like it was literally used to stop black people from voting. Like they literally used to make you pay money to vote.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't be able to vote. I believe you wouldn't be able to vote in local elections if you didn't pay your poll tax.
So basically, just disenfranchise the unemployed, of which there were many in Britain in the 1980s. Even I know that.
Yeah, unemployed and working class people.
They replaced it with council tax, right? Which
is bent as an iron bob note. So all the council tax bans, right? All the rates, yeah. Do you know when they were decided?
When?
1992. They've never been updated.
You can apply for an update, but like it's bureaucratic and hardly anyone does. So like
1992,
and it's based on like the property
and all
value.
All they did was they sent estate agents, real estate people round, right? They hired them. And they sent them around, and they went on a street, and they sat on the street in their car, and they were like, "Yeah, I think that house is probably worth 80,000. I think that house is probably worth 95,000." And then that's how the banding was done. That was how the banding was done.
And it's really regressive because like the highest council tax band is like a few £1,000s a year, and the lowest one is like a £1,500 most places, something like that. So even if you're like really fucking rich, you live in like a really massive house, you're still only paying like a handful of £1,000 a year. Whereas if you're poor, and these like the thing about council tax is that it's going up like massively in recent years because local authorities are massively financially stretched. So there's been like it's gone up by like 50-80% in a lot of areas. It's a massive expense for like loads and loads of people. And that's because local authorities are kind of all teetering on the brink of bankruptcy because of the 2010 Conservative government and the austerity there.
But also wild. Because they're basically entirely reliant upon central government for funding, right? So it's if
Farage gets in there, he's basically going to like make y'all sink into the fucking Atlantic Ocean.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It'll be yeah.
You know, but it's like correct me if I'm wrong, right? But can't local like government in the United States, depending on obviously what their charter is and whatnot, can't they raise taxes?
Yeah,
like they can do sales taxes and shit like that.
They can do that. That's what Zerano's trying to do in New York. He basically told the governor that like you can't do that here. Yeah, even in Scotland, right, where they have a devolved legislature, they have the Scottish Parliament, right, and the Scottish Parliament, governs Scotland to a certain extent, right, because Britain is still a unitary state at the end of the day. It's largely just, it's a bit like local councils essentially nowadays are just administrative branches of central government policy with a little bit of wiggle room. In Scotland, their tax raising powers are that they can put a penny on income tax. Just 1p. That's it. That's the be all and end all of their tax raising abilities. I'm probably wrong. I don't think the Welsh have similar powers in that sense. So, like, when austerity hit, there was nothing local councils could do. Literally nothing. They either had to burn through their reserves, which a lot of them did, or they had to make massive cuts. See, in the United States, in the United States, you got taxes three ways. You got local tax for the city that you live in, municipality, whatever. Then you got state tax. Then you got the feds through the IRS and all that. So you get taxes three ways.
And you got like
And they
all
and
these
they
different tax,
illegally
like it's not shown on the label, the price of things,
and
because
no,
tax are all different.
yeah, and they're legally required by the British state to set balanced budgets. So they couldn't set a budget that put them in a deficit, basically. They couldn't.
The other thing is that like there's sort of statutory requirements, like they have to fund like social care, and that's like a ballooning cost because we're a much older nation than we used to be, and there's a lot of people who like suffer from all kinds of, there's a lot more like people with disabilities these days and these kinds of things, and they just legally have to provide the social care. It's all done through local authorities. And this is like up to 50%, 60% of local council expenditure in some places because it is massively expensive. And so everything else has to get cut because of these legal requirements. Now, what you should do, and it was one of the things that I think the 2017 and the 2019 manifestos for the Labour Party said they would do, was set up a national social care service like the NHS, but for, caring for people, basically, and centralize this so that local authorities weren't having to manage the cost of that. But of course, Labour lost. Yeah, in Birmingham, they went bankrupt. There's a lot of places that are looking like they might go bankrupt. And
yeah, that's what Trump is trying to do. That's what Trump threatened. That's what Trump threatened Zeran with. Because when he went to go, because Zeran was basically like, he was basically like trying to stand off with Trump and all that. And like New York City is heavily defended on federal money. So Trump literally, like this almost happened. Like New York City, I think almost did go bankrupt in the late 70s. Trump remembers this. So he's like, okay, yeah, you guys can elect the commie mayor if you want, but like you better be ready to be broke, buddy. So like that's why I'm really not a big fan of socialists taking these executive positions in the first place. Oh yeah, he went to the White House and kissed his ass.
And fucking charms the fuck off Donny Boy, who probably shit himself during the meeting. Let's be honest, because we all know that he's wearing a fucking nappy or a diaper, as you call it, or whatever. But
he wears fucking diapers.
You see it when his staff come in, where he's just fucking shit himself, and his staff come in and go, "Get out, get out, get out." Yeah. We'll answer questions later. That's because someone needs to put him up on the table, put his trousers down.
Somebody needs to put him in a fucking nursing home.
Oh yeah, no. But what is happening?
Look, if you're shitting yourself, like we have had 2 fucking geriatrics with dementia with their fingers on the button, one after another. No, one after another after another.
One of the favorite stories that I ever heard about Reagan, right, is that like obviously he got diagnosed with dementia early in his second term, right? And I don't know who was the Secretary of State for Defense at the time or whatever, but
Caspar Weinberger, I think.
Yeah, went to fucking Ronnie's Secret Service agents and said, if he gets up in the middle of the night talking about how he wants to fucking nuke Russia, you call me first. You do.
Yeah, I think that was Caspar Weinberger that said that.
Yeah, you do not.
I do remember hearing about that though.
Those fucking nuclear codes, and because obviously the secret.
No, I would have just look. I would have been like, look, give me that fucking suitcase. I'm not dying because you give me that fucking suitcase. I don't care if you talk me up.
Yeah, no,
I'd rather be in jail than fucking nuclear fucking ash.
I feel like there's not people in the administration now though who are gonna do that. Like they're just gonna
they let him shamble around and do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah. They're probably gonna attack Iran in like the next few hours, to be honest. Like it's looking bad.
Yeah. No, they're trying to gear him up for a third term. He wants to be a fucking military dictator.
Yeah. But just to go back to the local government thing here for a second, right? So as Chloe said, like loads of them are about to go bankrupt. Do you know what the government's solution is?
What?
The government's solution is to abolish local democracy. That's their solution.
Lovely.
Right? So what their plan is they're going to take all these various different borough and town councils around the country, and they're going to amalgamate them into mega councils that span massive areas, so as to get rid of local government waste, by which they mean
What are you talking about? It's their waste.
Local government employees, right?
It's not the local government's waste. It sounds like, for what you all explained to me, it sounds like the fucking national government is loose with the purse strings, not them.
Oh yeah, no. So basically, that's what they're going to do, right? They're going to abolish what limited local democracy that we have. They're going to get rid of. So I'll give you an example where I live. I live in a small town right on the edge of South London called Epsom and Ewell, right? Epsom.
Never heard of it.
You've heard of Epsom salts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're from here, Epsom. That's where they come from. We used to have loads of springs, and that's where they discovered Epsom salts.
Fascinating.
So Epsom and Ewell is a very interesting place in the fact that it has never been governed by a national political party. From the time of its creation in 1937 to today, it has been ruled by supermajority by a local party called the Epsom and Ewell Residents Association. The Epsom and Ewell Residents Association is, in fact, the longest governing political party in liberal democracy. Oh. Very few people know that. Basically, no one in Britain knows it either, right? They're a sort of local party of the petty bourgeoisie, and they've governed the borough for nearly 90 years, right? And the only way that they're never going to have been voted out, because they're just getting rid of local democracy entirely, right? But Epsom and Ewell is a very small borough. You can cycle from one end to the other in 15 minutes, easy, right? It's surrounded by Greater London. If you go up to the end of my road and you walk a mile and a half in either direction, you're technically in London. And it is going to be amalgamated with two other boroughs nearby that are massive, that we have absolutely nothing in common with whatsoever, either culturally, economically, but because
maybe you should secede from the UK and form your own country.
There was, in fact, so I'm a computer technician by trade, right? And I trained.
I can tell.
I trained to be a computer technician in a place called Latimer Road, right, in West London. One side of the tube station was where Grenfell was, the Grenfell Tower that burned down.
The one that burned down.
Yeah.
All those people died, I remember.
The other side, which was the side in which the place I trained to be a computer technician was a neighbouring tower, right? And I remember when I was training to be a computer technician, seeing all the posters from the Tenants Association, which was for both towers, talking about how much of a fucking health and safety nightmare that was. And that was a good 16 years maybe.
I remember when that building burned. It was like,
it was a good 9 years before Grenfell burnt down, right? And I always remember it. But anyway, the road in which this place I went and trained at was a road called Freston Road. Well, in the 70s, the residents of Freston Road seceded from the UK, and they formed a republic of like 2 or 3 streets, and eventually they decided to come back. But it has actually happened before that part of the country.
It was like Pretoria.
It was called Frestonia.
Yeah, it's like Pretoria. Have y'all seen? Do y'all have Family Guy over there?
Yeah.
It's like Pretoria. When Peter decided he wanted to succeed his house in the United States.
What do they do? What do they do with their power? Like anything?
I don't know. I mean, y'all have. Don't y'all? Do y'all remember that like weirdo that has that oil derrick in the North Sea?
Yeah, Sealand.
Sealand. Is he still there?
I think so. It's kind of like
So basically, for many years, it was a data center that was outside of the law. So lots of American gambling sites were based in Sealand, but then it also came out that lots of like child pornography sites were also based in Sealand. But it's odd, right? Because Sealand is within the territorial waters of Britain, but it's like this oddity where at one time it wasn't, and now it is. And the family that own it, the Baines family, I think it is. I might be wrong. They styled themselves as a royal family because they called it a principality, right? So like the Prince Michael.
So technically, they're invaders.
Because they don't even live on Sealand. They live in England.
I mean, you wouldn't want to live on Sealand.
Yeah, it's an oil derrick in the middle of the fucking freezing North Sea.
It's not an oil. It's not an oil thing. It's an old World War II.
One of them.
Like gun turret.
Ew, that's even worse.
Yeah. But the best thing is, I think Dutch drug dealers tried to like take it over in like the 80s or something like that, and like there was like a full blown like because the original Prince of Sealand, he was a character. He stored like all kinds of weapons in there and everything, so that he anybody tried to invade.
You explained to me last stream we did. You explained to me what the British notion of a character is, and I've been using it that way.
Yeah, have you?
We just call them crazy fuckers over here.
You're a character. I'm a character. Chloe's a character.
Yeah, everybody's a character.
Yeah,
some characters are worse than others.
Yeah, but we love a character in this country.
Yeah, but, I'm so much of a character. DSA can't stop talking about me.
You'll be known all over your party soon, because the other side in this election will definitely take out of context clips from this conversation to use against us.
Maybe y'all will be called the cracker. Y'all will be called the cracker control wing. Do you want cracker control in your party?
Yeah, no, we do want cracker control. Yeah,
but you're both crackers.
We want it, but we have a particular like line adapted for British circumstances, which is gammon control.
Yeah, gammon. Do you know about gammons?
Gammons. Isn't that some type of
gammon? A gammon. It refers to a certain type of middle-aged white man in Britain who gets so enraged that his face turns like a weird shade of pink. And that's just become to refer to like a whole.
So that's like them.
White right wingers.
That's those fuckers that go down to Mallorca every spring and summer and then complain when they get burnt up.
Oh, not Mallorca, mate. They've colonized the whole part of Spain called Benidorm.
Holy shit!
Look up Benidorm. Benidorm is
basically. They have
fucking
orange matches down there. It's wild.
So Spain is basically y'all's version of Mexico. Y'all are just going down there ruining it.
Well, and then they got the Canary Islands, right? The Canary Islands, which are African islands colonized by the Spanish, right?
Yeah.
The Canary Islands are full of British people. And the residents...
Y'all just... what is it with y'all? Why? Okay, so y'all have a whole group of people who like, all of y'all burn. Why the fuck do y'all keep going to tropical areas? The Canary Islands.
Because we like the warm weather.
I mean, it's been raining for 2 months here. I would do anything to get out of this.
Shit, y'all was in Kenya. Y'all was in Nigeria. Y'all was in Rhodesia. Millions of y'all are in Australia. Y'all don't have no business in these places. The weather, y'all are like the fucking Israelis.
I know.
Well, the Israelis are like us. That's the thing.
So, the whole reason why the state of Israel exists is because of the crimes of the British state, let's be honest.
Mm-hmm. Your crimes. The crimes of Max
Shannon. They're not our fucking
Max,
crimes.
Can you stop doing Israel? It's not on, man.
It's all down. Yeah, it's all down to the two of us. But what was I saying? So the Canary Islands, right? The local populace in the Canary Islands, which they're all colonizers. They're all descendants of colonizers. In fact, Cuban Spanish is a descendant of Canarian Spanish.
And a funny thing about an interesting thing about the Canary Islands. The indigenous people, they were called Huanches. I think they were of like Berber No, Amazigh. Amazigh. The proper name for the indigenous people of North Africa is not Berber, which is an insult. It is Amazigh. But they had like a language that was literally whistling. Like literally, because there's like valleys and stuff. And I think they were like sheep herders or something. So to communicate across the valleys, they had a whistling language. And like a lot of African languages are like that. Like I think the Khoi people in South Africa and Botswana and Angola and Namibia, like they have whistling in their language, but it's really cool.
Clicking as well.
Yeah, clicking. I know Zulu and Xhosa have clicks.
Yeah.
Why do you have your fist up? You're a Black Panther or something?
It's just his arm is getting like blurred out. His leg is getting blurred out. You can see.
There's my legs being blurred out. I've got my leg up on the desk.
The exact same color as your bed.
Y'all just don't want the fucking people to see how the fucking mess your room is.
Oh no, my room is a complete and utter mess. Chloe will tell you this. Me and Chloe talk most nights. She sees the background. I spend 95% of my life in this bedroom, probably more, to be perfectly honest.
You are a perfect example of a millennial communist.
Yeah, no. You know,
filthy millennials.
36. I still live at home with my mum. No, BRG's a Zoomer.
You're a Zoomer.
Not a Zoomer.
I'm a Zoomer.
Yeah,
Well, you're a Zoomer.
I was born in '94.
That's definitely a millennial.
Oh, you're on the cusp of being a Zoomer.
No, it's like, I'm on.
Do I exude Zoomer energy to you?
No.
You're doing a stream right now. Energy. That's pretty.
Yeah, but you do a stream as well. Yeah, no, that's true.
There's a lot of millennials. You know what? Anyways,
I don't think you count as a millennial.
Huh?
I don't think you count as a millennial.
I'm like the proto-millennial. What are you talking about?
Yeah, 94 is way too. Like I'm nearly a millennial. I'm like one of the older Zoomers.
Anyways,
do you remember dial-up BRG? Do you remember?
Do I remember what?
Dial-up internet.
Yeah. Of course, I remember dial-up internet.
That was.
Yeah, it used to come on a little like AOL used to send these little discs out, and I would play frisbee with them. And like, yeah, you would have to like if my mom was on the phone, I can get on the fucking computer because she'd whine about it.
I remember.
The real test is: do you remember 9/11?
Yes, sir. I was in.
It was my first week at secondary school.
I was 7 years old.
It was 9/11. Was 9/11?
I did not like. At first, I thought because like it was on the TV. Why the fuck they were showing that to kids on TV? I don't know. But like at first, I thought it was like a movie or something. But then, like everybody, like my teacher was in the corner of the room having a fucking panic attack and crying, and then everybody's parents came and got them because they shut the school down. And then we got home, the same shit was on the news.
Yeah, so like it happened whilst I was at school. Right, it was my first week of high school. Yeah, first week of secondary school, and it happened. And I remember afterwards, at the bottom of my road is a big park, right, and I used to go through it to get to school. And me and my mate were we dawdle on the way back, and we go into the little playground bit, and we'd swing on the swings. Dawdle, yeah. And I always remember this. There was a mum there, and she had like a couple of young kids or whatever, and she started talking to us, and she was like, "It's the apocalypse, you know, the end of the world's coming." And we were like, "Oh, we're like 11 years old. We're like 11 years old. We haven't even turned 12 yet, you know."
How the fuck does a couple of buildings being knocked down in the United States signal the apocalypse to
I don't know. I mean,
British?
I remember I was telling Chloe this the other day, right? I remember when I was 9, there was a boy in my class at primary school, elementary school, right? And he told me that Saddam Hussein had tunnels all over the world and that he could get anywhere in like half an hour because he had like a really fast car. Like these were the things that like used to get spread around. Yeah, no. He was going to fucking Tracy Chapman, a lot of us. And, but yeah, they were like, you know, this is the end of the world. right? But I think one thing 9/11
Again, I ask.
I think one thing
Like,
9/11 did to an entire generation was it was a desensitizing event.
Yeah,
Like nothing really
like
phases.
no that and that. I made my first YouTube account to watch Saddam get hanged. Like we
I
were just
remember
exposed. Yeah, we were just
I
fucking
remember someone
exposed.
made a GIF. I remember someone made a GIF, and it was him just bouncing up and down on the rope.
We were exposed to that shit as kids. Like, all these, like, we watched fucking 3,000 people get murdered on live TV. We saw
Yeah.
a fucking 2 fucking wars, like, piped into our, like, I used to come home from school every night and watch the Iraq War.
Yeah, no, I remember all that.
So like, yeah, it's like, yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like, we are fucking desensitized. Like, all this shit that's going on. Like, I could look at fucking horrible shit happening in Palestine and like not feel like not feel anything sensory wise. Like fucking baby just laying there with his head chopped off. Why? Because I'm a firm believer that like certain shit kids should not be exposed to. Our whole generation is a testament to that.
Well, yeah, no,
we were.
We had like unfettered access to the internet, like peak internet, right? Where you could see there was all kinds of gore sites.
Gorgrish, Live Leak.
Yeah, Live
Leak.
I remember Live Leak.
Random fucking Russian sites that would fucking give your computer, viruses. Like, we went through all that shit.
It still gets through. It's just like different forms of it. Like ISIS executions growing up for me. That was.
See, that's shit. We was already grown when that shit. We was already grown when that shit was going on. I'm talking about like the real old school nitty gritty shit. What's up?
But now BRG, the British state, has come to the youth's rescue.
Oh yeah.
It has brought something in called the Online Safety Act.
Oh my God.
Which means if you want to watch porn, you have to show the porn site a copy of your driver's license. So the
government,
which will totally not be used for nefarious purposes.
If you want to, well, no, because the thing is, look, we know from the Snowden revelations, like 13 years ago.
Damn, I forgot all about his ass. He's still in Russia somewhere waiting for Putin to poison him.
Russia, yeah. The kind of mass surveillance that GCHQ, which is the NSA's equivalent in Britain, right? The kind of mass surveillance that they do, Snowden basically said made the NSA blush. It's 10 times worse. Every form of communication.
So wait, are you telling me that 1984 is real?
Yeah. But it's all done by stealth.
They're probably watching this stream right now.
Oh yeah, no, they'll have a recording of it. So they're based down in Cornwall, which is where the main line between North America and Europe goes through, basically the main fiber optic line, right? And basically they just do a giant dragnet and they record absolutely everything. It's called the Tempora program, right? And but they do way more than the NSA ever did, so they record all phone calls, all radio broadcasts, anything that goes out on like television signal.
You're telling me somewhere in a room they've got Princess Di's conversations.
Oh yeah.
No, they have all that.
Well, the thing, there are like they do exceptions to these things. I think it was the Snoopers Charter that they pushed through, which was like a bill that formalized a lot of this data gathering. But there's an exception. Oh no, I think it's something to do with encryption, where they had an exception for MPs. MPs were allowed to have encrypted communications, but everyone else couldn't.
That includes the royal family. So they're listening to Prince Chucky right now, King Chucky right now.
Probably.
That's wild. Those would be the most boring fucking conversations ever.
Yeah. Well, no. So famously, there was a leaked conversation between Charles and the now Queen Camilla in the 90s, right? They got.
I remember that from The Crown. That was some gross shit.
Yeah, he was talking about how he wanted to be like a tampon inside of her.
That was in the fucking Crown. Like, I love that show.
That's
I
our
do not know
ruler.
why.
That's our ruler. That's our ruler. But
Would you rather be ruled by Donald Trump?
no, but it is quite fun.
Because we can send his ass on over there, and we'll take Chucky over here.
I think Trump is
fucking
funnier.
Tampon King. Yeah, no,
No,
Trump
we
is
could
funny.
no. Look,
But,
let's do a swap. We'll send Trump over there to y'all to be y'all king, and we'll take Charlie over here.
But yeah, no. So like,
he's gonna I would not inflict Trump on you, because the first thing he's gonna do is gild Buckingham Palace.
No, that'd be good.
It's already gilded. He doesn't need to do it. It's already
no.
gilded.
I mean entirely fucking gold.
Oh,
make a mockery of it. Go ahead.
I don't think he would do that. He'd just get like gold paint and just like spray it all over it. But,
Buckingham Palace now looks so much better. It was old. It was dusty. Nobody wanted to live there. Now we brought a little bit of New York to the heart of London. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I'm down for that.
So
I love how y'all came here to talk about like internal your party politics, and it's just become like a fucking shit posting fest about nuances of British and American culture.
So like, GCHQ is like way worse than the NSA, like way worse.
Oh my god!
Hitler versus Mussolini,
times 11. Like it's like,
how do you be worse than the NSA?
Because it, as Snowden said, it does more of a dragnet on people's communications than the NSA.
I mean, America has like at least some constitutional protections for things like freedom of speech. Like I know it's, but we don't have anything like that even.
If we wanted to find out, for example, if Chloe and I wanted to find out what MI5 had on us, the easiest way for us to do that is to put in a freedom of information request to the FBI.
And they'd send you
because of the data sharing agreements.
So you'd have to go. So you'd have to come. So the best way to find out, the best way for you two British citizens to find out what's going on is to ask a foreign government.
Yeah, we're not citizens. We're subjects.
We're subjects. We're not even citizens.
Oh, you're property.
We're subjects of the crown. We're subjects.
You're property of the crown. Your sausage fingers is property.
Boy, I don't have sausage fingers. I've got nice fingers.
No, Charles. Have you seen Charles's fingers?
Oh no, that's because he's got heart disease.
It's like the same
no
thing
one talks about it, but that's why he's got edema in his hands.
It looks like his fingers look like fucking hot dogs, bro.
It's just fluid. It's just fluid.
Ew.
Poor blood pressure.
Ew. But anyways, so do y'all think that y'all can win your party election? Yes or no?
Hopeful. I think the projections seem to show either it's like the worst case scenario, we have it's sort of evenly split. Best case scenario seems to be that we'll get a majority, but it's really hard to tell with this kind of thing because there's no polling.
There's
the first time we've done.
There's also the problem. There's also the problem that despite the fact we're a national political party, this is not a national election. It is 9 separate regional elections.
Yeah.
So, Chloe's in the northwest of England. I'm in the southeast of England, right? So we have completely different electorates.
Uh-huh.
It's not like there's like a nationwide election.
Yeah. There's some places where we're going to win for sure. Like in London and in Yorkshire, we're going to take both of the seats because it's 2 seats per region, and we just run away with that. In
Yorkshire,
the northwest, like we're looking like we'll probably get one of our 2 candidates elected, but you can't say. It's hard to say which of the 2 candidates are running. Maybe we'll get none. Maybe we'll get 2. It really depends how things shake out. They're using this weird fucking quota, and like it's STV, but it's not the Imperialism.
They've used a version of STV so undemocratic that it turns it into a first past the post election.
Belgium got rid of this version of STV.
Yeah, so they're using a combination of Imperialism, which is Belgian STV, but the Belgians got it because it was dodgy as fuck, and something called weighted Imperial Gregory, which is only used in one legislature in the entire world, which is the Victorian state legislature in Australia. That's it. The 2 most obscure forms of STV possible, right? And that's because when the unelected leadership, who are supporting our opponents in this election, which is why they've chosen such an undemocratic system, because they believe that it favours them. When they put the questions to conference vis-a-vis like how we should be elected, they just said STV and didn't qualify it. So the vast majority of people would have thought that it was Scottish STV, or you probably know it, Chris, as the Droop quota, which is generally considered the most democratic and pluralistic.
We call it, no, in DSA we call it STV, Scottish Transferable Vote.
Yeah, Scottish STV, yeah. But they've chosen this really obscure one so that it favours big voting blocks. Now, all across the country, there are a load of independent candidates who are not affiliated to any slate. But because of this electoral system that they've brought in, it basically massively undermines their candidacies and doesn't make them goers. And, you know, we've called that out as a slate, even though it technically benefits us, right? And people have been quite shocked, like, oh, well, if it benefits you, why would you say anything? Well, it's because it's undemocratic. Yeah, you know, it's not undemocratic, it's anti-democratic. You know, it's anti-democratic. So, you know, it's that's really what we're fighting up against now, is like a party monarchy that's in its dying days.
The crazy thing is about this election is that, like, we're kind of running against the people who are running the election. It's like in some sort of, if this party was like a third world country, then America would invade it for like election.
Yeah. So the people running the election are the same people running the slate of our opponents.
Yeah, they're pretending like they're not,
which in reality means that our opponents are seeing the vote in real time, right? They're seeing the vote in real time, or at least they're getting daily updates. So what we've noticed is that in the past week or so, well, past week and a half really, the scale of the attacks against us has swelled enormously, particularly against candidates in regions that we didn't think we were likely to win, which leads me to believe that we're actually winning in those areas, which is why they've ramped it up. But I mean, it's gone from accusing Chloe of being a misogynist and a men's rights activist and that nonsense, to yesterday, one of our candidates being racially abused by a supporter of the other side. And when I say racially abused, they basically called her a slave.
I can't
say that sounds like a normal day in DSA.
Well, no, because I remember when you had your whole big debate over the use of online all-member balloting. They said,
one member, one vote. Basically, an opportunity for groundwork and SMC to abuse their access to members' information.
Well, this is a one-member, one vote. This is a one-member, one vote election, all done online on a membership portal that they have designed. It's never been audited. There's never been audited. And also,
so basically,
once the voting closes, they have 3 days to tell us whether we've won or not. And we have 24 hours to submit full accounts of our campaign. So any money we've spent, whether it's be, you know, you got on a train somewhere, you got on a bus, you have to account for that. And if you don't get your accounts in within 24 hours, your candidacy is null and void. So
24 hours is not long enough. You have to get receipts and stuff, unless you're like a freak that keeps all that shit in a file cabinet like a fucking boomer. 24 hours is not like, do they want the receipts and stuff scanned and sent in too?
Again, it's going to massively disadvantage independent candidates in particular.
Because
a lot of these people
that is corrupt. That is incredibly, like, that shit would never fly in DSA. Like, there would be holy hell to pay.
I mean, there is kind of holy hell to pay.
You cannot give 24 hours to people to submit accounts. That's crazy. Like for there to be for there to be a good, thorough accounting, that would probably take at least 4 or 5 days to get everything together and make sure there's nothing missing.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
But it's not just the slates that have to put accounts in; it's individual candidates.
Yeah, I know you mentioned that.
Right?
That's why I'm so fucking pissed. Meantime,
Which also
these people that are running,
the slates have to work out how much they have spent on every individual because
this privileges that privileges the people that are already like that have staffs and stuff like that can do that.
Yeah.
Whereas, like regular working class people like you and Chloe, like y'all have to, like, let's be real. We're millennials and Zoomers. I'm disorganized as fuck. I don't have it. I throw my receipts away as soon as I get them. So
no. I mean, luckily, all the money I've spent has been on train tickets, so I just need to scan them in basically because they've got the prices on, right? But the election is so your party is registered at a place called Fonthill Road in Jeremy Corbyn's constituency. Also based in those same offices is Jeremy Corbyn's Peace and Justice Project, right? The Peace and Justice Project have been sending emails and text messages out to their supporters asking them to vote for the opposing slate to us. But the party is based in their offices. It's based in their office.
That's a conflict of interest.
Yeah, no, sure, it is. It's like
so basically to fuck some shit up, all Jez and the rest of these people would have to do is go downstairs and put a bug in somebody's ear.
Yeah, in theory. Now, I think in practice, they're not like they didn't seem to rig the conference votes. A lot of things went against them. Like they didn't want a collective leadership election. They're kind of pissed off that they have to run a
janky, bro.
election like this.
Yeah, they're really pissed off about having a.
Oh, hey, it's Ignacio.
Oh, Ignacio.
Who is it? Who is Ignacio?
Oh, he's a good guy.
He's a friend of ours from the Democratic Socialists. And
hi, Ignacio.
He used to write for The Intercept.
Ooh. Hello, Ignacio.
I think someone was asking earlier whether we have any candidates in Birmingham, or like in the West Midlands.
Yeah, no, we do.
You got
Graham Jones and Megan Clark.
Yeah, Graham Jones.
Are they Peaky Blinders?
He's a fucking great guy.
Are they Peaky Blinders?
No, Graham's from. I don't know about Megan, but Graham is from Shropshire, which is a lovely county.
Yeah, that's because you're from there originally, Chloe. I
mean, so if me and Graham both get elected, we're going to have massive overrepresentation.
What slate is Thomas Shelby running on?
Independent.
Tommy Shelby would be in Reform. Tommy Shelby would be a Reform MP.
Yeah, he did like the first season. He did like go after that communist. That was like a whole
He was salty because one was dating. He was salty because one was dating his sister.
Mosley's head off, which was fairly impressive. But that failed, didn't it? It ended well for him after that.
It got the show got so tired by then, though. To be
honest. It didn't get. BRD, do you know the story about Oswald Mosley's son?
I don't think about British fascists. What happened?
No. This is fucking hilarious, right? So the Murdoch press did an expose on Oswald Mosley's son because he used to have Nazi BDSM sessions, and they got hold of the photos and they published it. It led to like some big.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Why are you telling? Do you enjoy telling me about the perversions of the British upper class?
It's a favourite pastime of the proletariat on these islands.
Well, one of your fucking the Queen's uncle was a Nazi, the one that abdicated, Edward something whatever.
Yeah, well, no. The Queen's husband, Prince Philip, two of his sisters were married to high rank.
I will never forget Churchill in The Crown literally pointing it out. Prominent Nazis they're married to.
Yeah.
You cannot take your husband's name. His sisters are married to prominent Nazis.
Yeah, no, correct. But but then the royal family, they're German. Did you know that?
Of course they are. Their original name was
Saxe-Coburg-Gotha.
Yeah.
Extremely German.
Saxe-Coburg Gotha, and then they changed it to Windsor due to anti-German sentiment during the First World War.
because they stumbled into World War I. It would not make sense for a house called Saxe-Coburg Gotha to be leading Britain during a war against the Germans.
Yeah, but then, this then goes back a bit to like imperial relations and everything like that.
It was basically Queen Victoria's grandkids.
Queen Victoria had a plan. Queen Victoria had a plan, right? I'm going to pump out as many kids as humanly possible. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to marry them off into all the various royal families around the world. And then that's how we are going to control Europe, basically.
And she controlled it all right. Yeah. Basically what happened was her grandkids sent working class people all over the continent to slaughter each other.
And then most of them ended up getting slaughtered by those working classes.
Well, that's the thing. When obviously the Bolsheviks did the Tsar and his family in, right? When they found what they thought was their remains, they went to the British royal family for DNA to test against like the bones and stuff.
I mean, have you seen like the Kaiser, the King, and the Tsar like compared? They look exactly the fucking same.
Oh yeah, no, they could be brothers, not cousins. That's all the years of fucking inbreeding.
Yeah, because mind you, these people were inbred long before Queen Victoria.
Oh yeah, no. But they scaled it up. They were like, this incest thing's going quite well for us. Let's double down. They didn't quite get as bad as the Habsburgs with the old, fucked up jaw and.
I'm about to throw up. Do y'all have anything that y'all want to wrap up with? Y'all finna make me throw up. Y'all finna make me throw up. Wasn't Prince Michael the one that died in that plane crash?
No, that was his dad. But Prince Michael of Kent, the Russian monarchists want to put Prince Michael of Kent on as the Tsar of Russia.
Why? So the Russians can burn him alive?
Don't know. I mean, they've got Putin.
The thing is, bro, the Russians have become extremely xenophobic. Like, this is not Catherine the Great's day when Germans and Ethiopians could just traipse around Russia. Now the Russians fucking hate foreigners. They will not accept a British Tsar. Like, they would literally drag his ass out of the Winter Palace and throw him in the fucking river.
Especially when every few months they capture like some British guy in Ukraine. Yeah, and, like, parade him around.
Yeah, the Russians are doing their own thing now. Anyways, good luck to y'all.
Thanks for having us.
I look forward to y'all. I look forward to seeing y'all as thorough party bureaucracy in your party.
Yeah,
anyways, I am going to go.
That's what it's all about.
I am going to go.
Bureaucracy.
I am going to go make my ablutions and apologize to my ancestors for engaging in a conversation with British people. Anyways, y'all are great. I love y'all. Good luck.
Control.
Indeed, yes. Control yourself.